Thursday Thrills.
This is Thursday Thrills, a quick weekly ride into the creepy stories, haunted places, weird obsessions, and eerie little corners of the world worth talking about. I'm your host, Enrique Couto. You're walking through a building you don't remember entering. Carpet is the color of old teeth. The wallpaper is yellow in a way that feels less like decoration and more like a warning. Above you, fluorescent lights buzz with the cheap electrical hum that makes your eyes ache if you listen too long. There are no windows, no furniture, no exit signs, no voices, just hallway after hallway after hallway. And the worst part isn't that you're lost. The worst part is that some little animal part of your brain is whispering, "I have been here before." That is the hook of the Backrooms. Not a vampire, not a masked killer, not a demon crawling out of the wall, but an empty office space that feels a few degrees off from reality. A place so boring, it becomes terrifying. And right now, the Backrooms are back in a big way. Not someday, not vaguely down the road, but literally tomorrow. And this is not in any way sponsored content. I'm not here to promote some movie because a studio asked me to and offered me some kind of, I don't know, cash money or a strangely shaped popcorn bucket. No. But this is important in the world of spooky and the internet. What started as an image from the web, a bad feeling, a tiny little creepypasta idea, has turned into games, lore videos, TikTok rabbit holes, YouTube nightmares, and now a feature film from A24 in theaters May 29th. Directed by Kane Parsons, the filmmaker behind the viral Kane Pixels Backrooms series. So tonight, we're taking a dark little walk through the scariest hallway on the internet. Why did this idea stick around when so many memes vanish overnight? Why does an empty office, a dead mall, or a hotel corridor at 2 a.m. make us feel like reality has quietly broken? And why is the Backrooms scarier now than ever before? I think it's probably best to start at the beginning, although in the Backrooms, the beginning, the middle, and the end are very easy to confuse. The Backrooms began the way so much modern folklore does, with a picture that felt wrong. It had bad vibes. In 2019, an image of a strangely empty yellow interior appeared in a thread about unsettling images. It wasn't bloody, not even a little bit dramatic. It looked vacant, or like a forgotten conference room, the wrong corner of a furniture store after closing. Then, someone added the story. The idea was that if you no-clip out of reality, like a video game character glitching through a wall, you can end up in the Backrooms, an endless maze of yellow rooms, damp carpet, fluorescent lights, and something unseen wandering somewhere nearby. That phrase is a major part of the magic. No clip out of reality. It doesn't sound particularly ancient or gothic. It comes off digital, like the universe has collision detection, and for one awful second, yours failed. That is very modern horror. It's not "this house is haunted because someone died gruesomely here." It's more, the world might be built on code, memory, routine, and architecture, and maybe there's a maintenance area behind all of it. A secret level, a debug room, the place reality stores the parts it doesn't want you to see, in many ways reminding me of The Langoliers by Stephen King, but I won't succumb to that digression for your sake. And that image worked because it was already so familiar. Almost everyone has been somewhere backrooms adjacent, a school hallway after everyone has gone home, a church basement, a closed department store, a hotel corridor when you're half asleep and can't remember exactly which door is yours. A beige office where the air smells like carpet glue and long ancient coffee. A liminal space. That word means threshold. A between place. A hallway. A waiting room. An airport gate. A stairwell. A mall after hours. It's not usually meant to be the destination. More so, it's meant to move you from one place to another. But when the people are gone, the purpose vanishes. And because your brain is a wonderful little horror writer in its own right, it fills that blank with something is wrong here. The Backrooms are basically liminal space horror turned into a shared monster myth. The original idea was simple and brilliant. An endless empty place where the ordinary becomes hostile. But the internet did what the internet does best. It expanded. It built levels. It added entities. It made wikis, maps, games, theories, and survival guides for a place that should not be mappable. Suddenly there were endless pool rooms with blue tile and humming lights, dark office levels where every cubicle looked abandoned 5 minutes ago, industrial corridors with pipes sweating in the ceiling, suburban streets under fake night skies, faceless things glimpsed around corners, rules whispered like survival advice. Do not follow the voices. Do not trust the smiling thing. Do not stay where the lights flicker for too long. That is what draws you in, because old folklore used to grow around forests, caves, crossroads, graveyards, and lonely roads, places where the world felt dangerous and mysterious. Now our folklore grows around office carpet, and not just because it's scratchy on your toes. This is why the Backrooms hit a nerve. They turn the backstage of normal life into a trap. The back hallway behind a movie theater. The employee-only corridor in a mall. Which, by the way, when I worked at Spencer's Gifts, that mall corridor was really creepy when we would be there until 2 a.m. doing spring inventory. Sheesh. There's the stairwell in a hospital parking garage. The basement bathroom at an old school event. Those places creep people out because they feel like the public face of the building has been peeled away, and now you're somewhere you never were supposed to linger. That is the scare in its purest form. The world still looks normal, but it will not let you leave. Then Kane Pixels gave the Backrooms a second life. In 2022, Kane Parsons released a found footage short on YouTube that treated the Backrooms like leaked analog evidence. A camera operator falls into the impossible space, wanders through the yellow maze, and slowly realizes the place is not empty. Part of why that video hit is that it doesn't feel like a polished monster scene. It feels like something recovered from a corrupted hard drive. The camera stumbles through ugly corners, unfinished walls, strange gaps in the architecture, and rooms that look less designed than generated. You're watching someone make the same awful calculation over and over. This turn has to lead somewhere. This doorway has to mean something. This room cannot just become another room. The camera shakes, the audio distorts, the rooms feel too real and too fake at the same time. And the creature, when it appears, is not the only scary thing. The real scare is what's waiting before the scare happens. The camera points down a hallway and gives your imagination just enough to put something out there. A dark opening at the end of the room becomes a mouth. A corner becomes a hiding place. A buzzing light, a warning. That's what the Backrooms do best. They make you afraid of empty space because empty space starts to feel like it's watching you back. But the truly scary thing is the architecture itself. The room is the monster. And when we come back, we're stepping even deeper into why this empty yellow maze is walking out of internet folklore and into movie theaters everywhere, and why the scariest thing in the Backrooms may not be what's chasing you, but the place itself. The Backrooms give horror creators something incredibly powerful. You understand it instantly. Empty yellow maze. You're trapped. Something might be in there with you. Good luck. And there are so many simple scares hiding inside of that setup. You hear footsteps that stop when you stop. You turn around and the doorway you came through is gone. You see a person far down the hall, wave, and then you realize they're standing perfectly still. You find a room with chairs arranged like a meeting just ended, except there's dust on everything, and one chair is still rocking. A sign pointing to an exit can be scary if it's pointing deeper inside. Even a vending machine can be scary if it's humming in a room nobody could have possibly stocked. A child's laughter can be utterly mortifying if it echoes from behind drywall. The ordinary details are the trapdoors, but the original terror is colder and simpler. You are in a place that should not exist. You do not know how you got there. You do not know if the exit even exists. And the lights, they just keep on buzzing. That's all you need. The Backrooms also speak to a very modern kind of loneliness. Not the kind you get when you're in the wilderness. It's not a, I am alone in the woods under a black sky. It's more, I am alone in a place that's built for crowds. When all of that is gone, the silence is not peaceful. It's evidence of absence. Evidence you missed something, that everyone else got the signal and left. And that is why Backrooms imagery spread so easily online. They're not just scary pictures, they're little emotional traps. Your brain recognizes the setting before it understands the threat. It says, yes, I know this carpet. I know this light. I know this stale air. Then, half a second later, it says, wait, why am I seeing it like this? It's the uncanny valley, but for rooms. Usually, we talk about the uncanny valley with faces, a human face that is almost right, but not quite. The Backrooms do that, but with the architecture. Almost an office, almost a hotel, almost a school, almost a real place, but the proportions are wrong. The emptiness is wrong. The repetition is wrong. And repetition is a nightmare engine. One hallway is boring. 10 hallways are upsetting. And 1,000 hallways are pure cosmic horror. At that point, the question stops being, where am I? And becomes, what kind of universe needs this many hallways? To be fair, what we actually have here is not a true paranormal case by any means. There is no evidence that people are really glitching into yellowy office mazes. The Backrooms are collaborative fiction, internet folklore, and digital age horror storytelling. But that doesn't make them meaningless. Folklore has always been a way for people to turn anxiety into a place you can point at. Don't go into the woods after dark. Don't answer the voice from the well. Do not drive down that road at midnight. And now, do not no-clip out of reality. Do not follow the buzzing lights. Do not trust the empty hallway. Because somewhere between a 2019 image thread and a movie theater opening, the internet figured out that the scariest place in the world might not be a haunted house. It might be the space behind the haunted house. The blank place. The waiting place. The place where the carpet is damp, the lights never stop humming, and every doorway promises the next room will be different. But it never is. And if you ever find yourself alone in a hallway that feels too long, in a building that suddenly seems too quiet, and you hear that fluorescent buzz crawling under your skin, do yourself a favor. Do not look for the exit sign. Look for the door you came through, and pray that it's still there.
Come back tomorrow for more fear. Until then, lock your doors, as if that will help.